winning that series in 4 games. So now moving on to the American League Championship Series, we have got the Yankees and the Indians. Game 1, James Paxton going up against Trevor Bauer. I like Bauer, and that's giving me Bauer 1-0 Indian series lead. Game 2, Masahiro Tanaka, Aaron Seival. Is it even a question? Tanaka, 1-1 series lead. Game 3, J.A. Happ going up against Zach Plesac. Again, Plesac doesn't have experience. J.A. Happ does. We've got Happ and the Yankees taking a 2-1 series lead. Game 4, CC Sabathia going up against Adam Plutko. CC, veteran, Plutko, never been there. 3-1 Yankees lead. And then the star power on each team, DJ LeMahieu and Carlos Santana. DJ LeMahieu is a little bit of a better player than Carlos Santana. So I got the Yankees moving on to the World Series, beating the Indians in 5 games. In the other National League side, NLCS, we have got the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubs. Cubs with home field advantage. Game 1, we would see Brandon Woodruff going up against Cole Hamels. I like Woodruff and the Brewers winning this game, taking a 1-0 series lead. Game 2, we'd see Zach Davies going up against John Lester. Davies has a 0 postseason ERA. Lester has been great, but I like Davies. So 2-0 Brewers series lead. Game 3, we'd see Chase Anderson and Tyler Chatwood go up against each other. Chatwood, I've got slightly out battling Chase Anderson. So 2-1 Brewers series lead. In Game 4, we would see Yu Darvish going up against, I believe, Julius Chassin. I like Chassin and the Brewers taking a 3-1 series lead. Then you look at the star power on each team. You've got Yelich and Javi. Yelich is better. I've got the Brewers going to the World Series, winning that series in 5 games, I believe. Yeah, 5 games, taking on the New York Yankees. So let's head to the World Series now. We've got the Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Yankees, a completely different World Series matchup than we have seen thus far. Game 1, we'd see Brandon Woodruff going up against James Paxton. I've got Woodruff and the Brewers winning Game 1. Game 2, we've got Zach Davies going up against Masahiro Tanaka. I've got the Brewers winning Game 2. Game 3, we've got Chase Anderson going up against J.A. Happ. I like Happ and the Yankees winning this game, so it would be 2-1 Brewers. Game 4, we'd see Chassin going up against Sabathia. I like Sabathia. It'd be a 2-2 series tie. Then if you look at the star power from each team, you get Yelich going up against DJ LeMahieu. I like Yelich in that situation, obviously. And then the other star matchup would be Gary Sanchez and Mike Moustakas. Like Moustakas, so I've got the Brewers winning the World Series this time around in 6 games. I've picked the Brewers before in the past, so in the past, if you've been along for the predictions, the past 3 weeks now have been Brewers beating the Rangers, Dodgers beating the Twins, and then this week I've got the Brewers beating the Yankees. And, you know, I do this for fun, and I like to do this. Now, obviously, things could change, as we saw, and, you know, the Rangers could be out of the playoff picture, and my World Series prediction of, like, a Brewers-Rangers just wouldn't happen because, hey, the Rangers aren't in the playoff picture, and we're seeing that come to fruition this week. Or you have a team like the Indians that gets into the playoff picture this week, and I have them going to the ALCS. It's really just a matter of who's in, who's out, and how would they fare when they are in, because when they are in, that's what is fun to watch, it's fun to see, and playing out, you know, the pitching matchups, because that's what postseason baseball is all about. And yes, it is June 23rd if you're listening live, or, you know, it's early in the season when this podcast is being recorded, so there's still plenty of baseball left to be played. So if your team isn't on this, and then again, the National League is wide open in terms of not the division necessarily, the East and the West are pretty much wrapped up, but those 2 NL wildcard spots and the NL Central, and really the 3 teams besides the NL East and the NL West come from the NL Central. So it's still wide open, and besides that, we've got the Rockies, the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Nationals, the Mets, and 2 more NL Central teams, and the Reds and the Pirates, all competing for playoff spots. And really, unless you're a fan of the Marlins, Giants, Orioles, Blue Jays, Tigers, Royals, or Mariners, your team is still in it and still has a fighting chance. And there's still a lot of fun baseball to be played, and I'm excited to be here to cover it with you every single step of the way. This week, what happened was All-Star ballots, the All-Star finalists, they came out this week. So how that all works, so we had something new this year. There was the primary voting. So from about a 3-week time span, there was a time span where fans could go out and they could vote for their favorite players, and there was a primary. And 3 guys would move on from the primary for every position besides the outfield, and you would see 9 outfielders move on in that scenario. And the primary voting came to an end this past Friday, and the finalists were announced. Now, these finalists, you'll be able to have a chance to vote for them in a 28-hour time span, I believe, from Wednesday to Thursday. So make sure you vote for your favorite players, and we'll go through who are the finalists, and I'll give my opinion on who should be the starter and who's going to be on my ballot. So starting with the American League catcher finals, we've got Robinson Chirinos from the Astros, James McCann from the White Sox, and Gary Sanchez from the Yankees. I personally think this one's pretty clear cut. Gary Sanchez deserves to be the starter, and he most likely will be the starter as well. The Yankees market, and he dominated the competition in regards to Chirinos and McCann. So I'd be shocked if Chirinos or McCann beat out Gary Sanchez for that, even though Chirinos is having a relatively good season as well. Chirinos has a 2.6 WAR. Gary Sanchez only has a 2.7. But Gary Sanchez, he's going to win that, so I've got Gary there. For the first base spot, we've got C.J. Cron from the Twins, Carlos Santana from the Indians, and Luke Voit from the Yankees. Here I've got Carlos Santana of the Indians. I would be kind of shocked if this if this didn't go to anybody but Luke Voit. Again, you have the Minnesota market, the Cleveland market, and then the New York market. I mean, come on. I'm voting for Santana, but again, I'd expect it to be Luke Voit. Second base, we got Jose Altuve, Astros, Tommy La Stella, Angels, and DJ LeMahieu, Yankees. I consistently had Tommy La Stella for my second base spot. Now, again, I do believe this is going to go to LeMahieu, and this just ends up being a popularity contest for what it's worth, and it is, because my predictions for what's going to happen is you're going to see Gary Sanchez as the catcher, Luke Voit as the first baseman, DJ LeMahieu as the second baseman. It's just what's going to happen. And it's a flawed system, but it's a system we have and the system that we have to live with. The shortstop, Carlos Correa, Astros, Jorge Polanco, Twins, and Gleyber Torres, Yankees. I think Jorge Polanco has a fighting chance here, but again, you only get 1 vote, and it's in a 28-hour time period. I think it could really go either way here. I think it should definitely go to Jorge Polanco, but I wouldn't be surprised if Torres or Correa takes that as well. That should be a close race. Third base, we've got Alex Bregman, Astros, Hunter Dozier, Royals, and Gio Urshela, Yankees. This one should definitely go to Alex Bregman or Hunter Dozier, but Gio Urshela definitely could win it just again because he has a New York fan base behind him and voting for him, and that's what happens when you have that Yankee fan base behind you. I'm going to be voting for Bregman, but we'll see how that all shakes out there. In the outfield, we've got Mookie Betts, Red Sox, Michael Brantley, Indians, Joey Gallo, Rangers, Aaron Judge, Yankees, Austin Meadows, Rays, Josh Reddick from the Astros, Eddie Rosario from the Twins, George Springer from the Astros, and Mike Trout from the Angels. The 3 people that will make my ballot are Mike Trout, Joey Gallo, and Austin Meadows. Now, realistically, we're going to get Mike Trout, obviously. I don't know why Aaron Judge is on this, but I could definitely see him. And then it could really be anywhere from Mookie to George Springer, I think, in that realm of possibilities. So there's definitely some possibilities there for some movement. It'll be interesting to see how that shapes up. The DH spot, Nelson Cruz, Twins, Hunter Pence, Rangers, and JD Martinez from the Red Sox. Hunter Pence is going to be on my ballot. He's had a fantastic resurgent campaign with the Texas Rangers and really has led them to this 42-36 record, being only a half game back of that second AL wildcard spot. I think JD Martinez is going to ultimately win it, but Hunter Pence will definitely find himself on my ballot. For National League catchers, we've got Wilson Contreras, Yasmani Grandal from the Brewers, Brian McCann from the Braves, and if you didn't hear, it was Contreras from the Cubs. Contreras is going to win this pretty clear cut here. He'll be on my ballot. He's got the whole Cub nation behind him as well. At first base, Josh Bell, Pirates, Freddie Freeman, Braves, and Anthony Rizzo, Cubs. Freddie Freeman made a late push to overtake Josh Bell as the top overall vote getter for National League first baseman. Josh Bell's going to make my ballot, personally. But I wouldn't be surprised if Freeman or Rizzo takes home the cake there either, just because they have all of Braves country and then all of Cubs, the Cubs fans as well. But Josh Bell deserves it. Is he going to get it? We'll see. Second baseman, Ozzie Albies, Braves, Ketel Marte, Diamondbacks, and Mike Moustakas, Brewers. And this one's going to be tough. I think it's going to be between Moustakas and Albies. I think Moustakas definitely deserves a nod, but Albies surprisingly got a ton of votes. Marte is definitely worthy too, but I'm voting Moustakas. For the shortstop spot, we've got Javier Baez, Cubs, Trevor Story, Rockies, and Dansby Swanson, Braves. I've got Javi. We're going to be talking about him just in a little bit. He's ridiculous. Story and Swanson are good. Story better than Swanson, but I've got Javi at short. Third base, Nolan Arenado, Rockies. Chris Bryant, Cubs. JD, Josh Donaldson, Braves. So Nolan Arenado, pretty obvious there. In the outfield, Ronald Acuna Jr., Braves. Albert Almora Jr., Cubs. Cody Bellinger, Dodgers. Charlie Blackmon, Rockies. Jason Hayward, Cubs. Nick Markakis, Braves. Jock Peterson, Dodgers. Kyle Schwarber, Cubs. And Christian Yelich on the Brewers. The guys who are making my ballot will be Bellinger, Yelich, and Acuna Jr. I wouldn't be surprised if Schwarber sneaks in for somebody like Acuna. But yeah, that is the All-Star ballot. Make sure you vote for your players. And yeah, we are going to move on to talking about a little bit about Javier Baez here in a moment. So yeah, again, make sure you vote for your players. And we will be discussing Javier Baez here in a moment. Alright, so I apologize for that break. Just had to get a little text message out. So, Javier Baez helped the Chicago Cubs grab victory from the jaws of defeat Sunday. The manner in which he accomplished this has become rather familiar too. The 26-year-old clubbed a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning, helping the Cubs transform a 1-run deficit to what eventually became a 2-run victory. This was Baez's 19th dinger of the season, and it actually came on an 0-2 count. Having his back against the wall before slugging a ball into the stands has happened quite a bit for the shortstop in 2019. In fact, it was the 9th such homer he's hit this season, meaning that just about half of his total homers have come with 2 strikes. As you can imagine, he's done this more than a number of big league clubs while tying a handful of others at the same time. Baez's success with 2 strikes has come with more than just home runs. While his 29.8% strikeout rate is a noticeable increase over last season's 25.9% mark, he's also had his fair share of success. After a true breakout performance in 2018 where he slugged 34 homers with 111 RBIs, 101 runs scored, and a 131 WRC+, Baez is doing more of the same in 2019. Through 322 plate appearances, he's slashing for a 284 average, a 323 OBP, and a 551 slugging, with 19 dingers, 51 RBIs, 50 runs scored, and a 122 WRC+. Although both his ground ball rate, 49%, to 45.6%, and line drive rate, 22.1% to 18%, have gotten worse, he's paired that with a drastically improved infield fly rate, 11.4% to 2.9%, and hard hit rate, 35.8% to 44.7%. Watching his quality of contact climb higher is especially important since his rate of contact has gone down about 3 percentage points. The power has remained though. Baez posted a 264 ISO in 2018, a number that is up at 267 thus far in 2019. He's also set a new single-season career high for homers in each of the last 3 years, 14 in 2016, 23 in 2017, 34 in 2018. So he's at least giving himself a shot to make it 4 in a row. Chicago enters Monday's action with just a half-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Central, with the St. Louis Cardinals not far behind. It'll be a dogfight all the way until the end. So every bit of production from the Cubs roster will be crucial. The offense has been fortified by Baez, Chris Bryant, Wilson Contreras, and Anthony Rizzo. And they must continue carrying the load heading into the summer